George, this week sees the latest round in the process of the planning application. Tell us where we're at now.
Okay, well, we certainly picked a great week to do this with the Cup final and the AGM next week as well. But where we are is following on from the public consultations earlier this year. We got a lot of feedback, and so the project team, the architects, civil engineers have been working on the designs for the stadium, for the site layout, doing the road management assessments, the environmental impact assessments, in fact everything that goes with a major development of this scale.
Obviously, at the first round of public consultation, transportation came up very strongly, understandably. What's been the progress on that side of things?
Well, there's been a number of meetings with key stakeholders, such as both councils, Transport Scotland, the police, the emergency services and the bus companies, and they've been working through various scenarios about getting people safely to the stadium and away from the stadium at the end of the event. In addition to that, we've obviously looked at some of the concerns around vehicle parking, both on-site and off-site, and we're quite satisfied that there's a solution there that will be acceptable given the context that we're talking about, which is about 26 games a year. The events that we're holding at the stadium on the match days, these are not an everyday occurrence.
And fans coming along to this week's exhibition, what will they see in terms of detail and in terms of, the images look very impressive indeed, but from practicalities, they'll obviously be keen to see that their feedback has been actioned as you were. What are some of the things that they'll find as new?
Well, they'll certainly see the stadium design in a much more finalised form, both from the look of it, the height of it, and also within the stadium as well and the facilities. But even outside, looking at the layout for the community and training facilities, the planned fan zone, the whole approach to the stadium, with very carefully blended landscape to go with the local environment. There's been an awful lot of work done, an awful lot of detail is now available.
So what happens now? What's the next stage in the process?
Well, the next stage in the process beyond this is to finalise the detailed planning application, and we're talking about that virtually being ready at the beginning of December. That will then be submitted into Aberdeen City Council as part of the planning process, and from there on in, the council and the planners will issue the information where relevant to statutory consultees, and then all things being equal, there'll be a recommendation goes to the full council, and the date of the full council decision is yet to be decided. And
one of the objections was the proximity of the two pipelines, but I think you can assure everybody that consultations with the oil companies involved and the other relevant parties have taken place, and everybody is quite happy with the arrangements.
Yeah, from the very outset of this project, we've identified the key stakeholders, the consultees, and we've actually been very proactive in meeting with, as you say, both oil companies involved. I would add that the pipelines lie out with the site, they're not within the site. We've also met with HSE and we've met with SEPA, so we haven't left anything to chance in terms of who we've met with and who we've spoken with about the project.
And in terms of the timescale, still the same training facilities, community facilities for the middle of 2018 with the stadium to follow in 18 months' time?
Yeah, all things being equal, we'll be looking to have the training and community facilities, which we're referring to as Phase 1, by the middle of 2018, with the stadium and the infrastructure around the stadium, which we refer to as Phase 2, about 2 to 3 years later.
Okay, and just on a football matter, of course, you mentioned the cup final. It's a huge week for the club on the park, and one that I think we're all going to Glasgow on Sunday with a fair degree of optimism.
Yeah, I mean, it's down to us turning up on the day, and we had a good display against Inverness, and prior to that a good display against Partick Thistle. Over 90 minutes I would back us to beat anybody, but it's down to us to make that happen.